It is the Call Flow Radio Show for Monday, November 4th. We're broadcasting live from the Francis E. Wood studio. You can listen to us online at WFLO.net. Our phone numbers, if you'd like to be a part of the program, it's 434-394-0924. And to my immediate left is the consummate co-host, Noah Massage. Noah, how are you doing this Monday morning? Wait a minute. It would help if we cut your mic on.
John already muted me, and I haven't even spoken a word. No, I'm kidding.
That's okay.
Doing well. Doing good.
All right.
Had a long weekend. I went up to Shenandoah.
For a wedding, right?
No, actually, that was Saturday.
Oh.
I'm talking about Sunday.
Okay, don't let me interrupt. You go ahead.
You're good. Well, I went up to Shenandoah and, drove around up there with my girl, K-Tay. Okay. KT. KT, yeah. KT, and we just drove around. It was nice. We packed a lunch, and we're gonna have a picnic, but we ended up driving and just eating casually as we drove. We never really found a good spot to eat outside, and it was kind of cold up there anyway, so we had a good day of just driving around and eating cheese in the car, John, as you do.
Eating cheese.
Eating cheese and different deli meats and cured ham.
You're eating hand sandwiches, no bread.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually had bread, but I just ate the bread. I just ate the bread, and yeah, it was a great weekend, but and no service up there too. You feel like if something bad was to happen, you would kind of be stuck,
right?
Because there's no cell service. So, anyways, did a lot of driving around. We got a flat tire. That's always fun. Come on, give it up for flat tires, everybody. Come on, hey,
man, that's no fun.
Yeah, they deserve to be recognized as terrible inconveniences
that they are
that happen to people who it happened to the nicest people, John.
What, flat tires?
Yeah. I'm talking about myself here. I'm a nice guy. It happened to me. So
he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Hey, it's right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so and I'll tell you what, Katie was driving. I don't know how to say it, but maybe if I was driving, we wouldn't have immediately. I'm not denying we wouldn't have had a flat tire at some point, because there were some points where I was like, "Man, these roads are kind of rough." But she was driving.
I'm gonna win this girl. I'm gonna win the race. Is that what you're saying?
No. So we were driving, and somehow we got off the side of the road a little bit, and there was a pothole too. So the tire got gouged by the side of the pothole in the and just immediately flat. When you get a slow leak in the tire, and it just you're like there's something compromised about this tire, but it's taking its time, so we can still drive. Mm-hmm. This thing, as soon as we got back up on the road, John, we were thunking, Thunking around. It was like, ba-bum, 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 ba-bum.
Okay.
And it was so funny because it was literally, we got the flat tire right before we got to the gate for the park. So we come up rolling, and it's ba-bum, ba-bum. It's going, just jumping around. And the park ranger was like, "Hey, how you guys doing? You guys want a ticket?" And we were like, "Well, we were hoping we can get one if that's okay." And paid $30, which I got to say, $30 for a whole week pass at Shenandoah. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad price.
I'll take your word for it.
Not a bad price at all, John. But anyways, getting off, getting on my side tangents. Yeah, it was a good day overall. Very, very fun. And then we saw the sunset. It was beautiful. It was the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen. And then to
violin music.
Yes, thank you. Oh man, John. Too bad you don't have your violin today.
No, I don't.
You usually bring it with you too.
I have a fiddle though.
Hey.
Yeah.
The violin and the fiddle, same instrument.
No, it's not. No, I'm just kidding.
It is though, right? It is. It's just different pressure on the chords.
I guess so. Fiddle sticks.
Somebody told me that, and it was because I always thought they were two different instruments that looked identical.
There it is. You see. No, I'm just kidding.
And then Saturday, I'm sorry.
No, good.
No.
You're going to do the wedding thing, right?
I was just going to say I attended a wedding.
Yeah. But you didn't just attend.
Well, I attended this wedding, and during the wedding, it's something unfortunate happened. In that unfortunate thing was
somebody spoke up when they said if anybody has anything to say.
No, that would be bad.
Yeah, it would be. That
would be really bad. Yeah. No, I mean, but I would say it's on the lines of that. Like, it's not too far off of that happening.
Okay.
The DJ apparently played like music as a DJ does, but not just any kind of
Hence
music.
The name.
Yes,
you know what DJ?
Jockey.
Yeah. You learned this just the other day.
I knew it before, but I pretended like it was a new fact.
You did
because you went into a very great detail, and I was like, I respect
disc jockey. Yes.
But basically, the DJ played music, and get this, guys. Hold on to your seats at home. He played music that was that was on the
electric slide
on the Do Not playlist.
Oh, what was that?
John. He played music on the Do Not playlist, meaning these songs I don't want to be played. Oh. And the reason why you
did they not properly put like a header or headline
at the
top and said, do not play these songs?
Somehow he got mixed up. He got mixed up with it, and he ended up starting off the dancing, John.
So dueling banjos was a no-no is what you're saying.
The Macarena was the first song that played, and that was probably their least favorite song, The Bride and the Groom. And so just you had the Macarena playing, and like people are kind of getting down, but like you could just see the the betray in their faces. Yes,
when this started
this is the first song that played,
and this is when it all went downhill.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it continued with that downhill spiral.
Right.
Like he played like 10 different songs in a row that were extremely.
That was number one in 1997.
Wow.
I did not know that. In 1997, I want you to get back to your story, though, after you blow your nose.
So, terrible situation. I'm hurt. The bride, the groom are hurt. We're all just kind of sad about this, as you should be.
Yeah.
Because it's a terrible thing. It's their wedding day, John. Like, it's a
very
hugely special day. Hugely
special.
It's gigantic in its specialness.
Mm-hmm.
and just
that's why I'm eloping on a beach somewhere.
Oh yes, but like John, that's like if I attended your wedding as the DJ.
No one's going to be at my wedding.
I understand that. Hypothetically, you throw a wedding and I'm DJing it for some odd reason, and I play like that weird music that's on the NBS category, and it's like it's.
Well, unlike whatever
it's like the Pixies
did,
yeah.
I would be pulling the plug.
You would be you would drag the receiver out of the building.
Yeah. I wouldn't just sit there and boo-hoo. I would, let's fix this.
Yeah. What if everybody else was enjoying it, though? Then what do you do?
Still, the plug would be pulled, regardless.
Yeah.
If I don't hear a constant barrage of Van Halen or something.
Wow. That's my impression of a Van Halen guitar.
Wow. It sounds like when you say now.
It's like how I talk, but just like even worse somehow.
For some reason, when you say now, that kind of comes out like that.
Yeah, I really don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it.
I don't know what to tell you.
So to say the least, I was busy this whole weekend. I've been,
I want to hear around. I want to hear that cowbell.
You want to hear cowbell?
Yeah, constant cowbell. More cowbell.
More cowbell. Yeah. Hey, good reference.
Good. You're welcome.
Well, John, that's a little bit about my weekend. It's kind of
so
and then car problems.
Did it ever fix itself? The whole thing with the wedding and the music?
No, it never
unresolved. Got corrected.
I mean, they ended up playing songs that they did want to be played, but just that first 5 to 10 songs were.
Was the DJ? So it was just 5 or 10 songs
in the beginning, but all the first part of the dancing was all the songs that they didn't want to be played, and then a couple of songs later in the night. But you first have to open it up with a really great song to get people to want to dance. But the fact that the first 5 to 10 songs were just nonstop, we didn't want this. Why is this playing? Oh no! More terrible songs that we didn't want to hear.
That's pretty rough. These are not the songs that are on the
list. Well, John, let me ask you this. Oh, then car problems as well, but that's nothing
flat tire.
new. I mean, that happened to Katie's vehicle. She got a flat. My car is still dead. The battery, the alternator.
Wow, really?
Catch this.
It always goes back to the alternator.
That is a new alternator. Remanufactured, but new,
Yeah, but the key word is remanufactured.
But I bought it from a very reliable source in Farmville, and, it was
not mention any names.
Yeah, and we're not going to do that.
Okay.
But it was a bad apple, and, but it happens, and so...
It does.
And so, I talked to them, and they were like, we'll get you a new one for free, free of charge, and I was like,
that's good.
You guys are great. Thank you. But you know what the real son of a gun is?
What's the real?
Taking it out and installing the new one. That took almost it almost took like 5 hours, it felt like.
Is you doing it yourself?
It was me doing it, and then,
You leave that to professionals.
No, I mean, it was me. But also, something I left out. My dad also helped, which,
Are you trying to insinuate maybe the reason it took so long was because your dad was helping?
He's like, no, that doesn't go there.
Are you throwing dear old dad under the bus?
No, I am not throwing no, I'm not. Come on, John. No, he actually did speed it up for me a little bit,
No, get out the way.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. You don't know nothing about putting old
alternators in the car engines, I don't know. But John,
here, hold my stogie.
Why is he now Columbo?
I don't know.
Why is he Columbo now, John?
One more thing, Noah. One more thing.
I see those tire tracks match up at the crime scene.
Why would you tie shoes that don't belong to your feet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These shoes are a size small.
When you tie someone else's shoe,
these gloves were found in your trash can.
The loop goes on the other end than when you tie your own shoe. So obviously, you tied that man's shoe after you murdered him.
So there you go.
Can I just say?
Yes.
My favorite part about Columbo in the Columbo universe, is when, and this has happened a couple of times. It doesn't happen every episode, but it's like when Columbo is like talking to the suspect and like the guy who obviously did the murdering,
which he always knows who it is right off the jump.
Kind of, yeah. But my favorite way, like sometimes he does accuse them directly or like puts them in custody. But I really like when he sets them up in the sense of being like, he says something that the murderer like knows that he knows, and he has to like destroy evidence, if that makes sense. Like so, Columbo will be like, you look like this, blah, blah, blah. Or, like, that beanie looks like a lot like it was at the crime scene, blah, blah, blah. Or something like, he'll make a reference to where, like, the criminal is like, oh, I think he knows. And so the criminal will end up going somewhere to destroy some part of key evidence, Or, like, destroy some last remaining evidence of some sort. Mm-hmm. And then Columbo, like, turns on all the lights, and he's hiding there. And he's like, hey, I knew you would come back here because he had to get rid of the gun.
Mm-hmm. How do you like the way Jim Rockford does it?
And how does Jim Rockford do it again? You have to remind me.
I'm just messing around.
Okay.
Rockford Files. With
funny.
James Garner.
Okay.
Another show.
Yeah, of course. Well, John,
he's more of a private investigator.
John, I feel so bad because I've just been yapping around. But like, tell me about your weekend. You look like
I was active. I did some things around the house. I cut down a bunch of shrubbery that I needed to. I've been meaning to cut down, and so I made a point to go out and get some clippers that actually work as opposed to the rusted out old ones we have. Or the one, someone must have dropped a pair because it's the bars somehow got completely reversed with the blade. So now the blade, you couldn't work it is basically what I'm getting at. So I had a decent pair at one point in time. I must have let someone borrow them, and they'd never been heard from again. Mm-hmm. So I had to go out and get me a new pair. And after 22 some bucks later, they worked like a charm.
Wow.
I was just whacking away.
Haha. Interesting, John. And, that's unfortunate that your other ones got too old.
Well, sometimes they were left out in the weather.
Oh, that will rust them up?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old were those?
I'd say very.
Like wood handle?
No. Though we used to have some like that.
Those are ancient.
Yeah.
I think those were around
They
during
may
the
still
Great
be
Depression.
in the old shed, tractor shed maybe even. A pair like
they're like antiques
almost. Probably so. Yeah. I think they're barely hanging on though.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Wow, so some new clippers. Where did you go? In Dillon, the town of Dillon.
Well, I had to come out here Sunday, if you want to jump to that one. Time change and everything. How do you react to the time change? Are you okay with it?
I kind of just... I like to... I mean, we gained an hour, right? Or do we...
Supposedly. I think we ought to jump back 2 hours. And then leave it. And then just say, okay, that's it. Mm-hmm. Stop. One big time we have to get over 2 hours of change, and then just, that's it. No more.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think so.
I enjoy the time change. I enjoy waking up and
Matter of fact, if you out there are listening and you don't like the time change, or you do love the time change, give us a call 434-394-0924, and we now continue with Noah Massage.
Can we start doing that? Because I really like that a lot.
Sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I enjoy the time change. I think that's a positive. Because think about this, John.
Mm-hmm.
People in general, they kind of get stuck in routines a bit, right? Everybody gets stuck in a rut every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Right.
Have you ever experienced somebody getting stuck in a rut and just kind of grinding the day and just it's so the same always? And I think what a time change does that benefits everybody, it breaks up their daily routine, Hey, you lost an hour, you gained an hour. Like, life is somehow new again, John. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, John? Come on. Like, the fact that you can lose an hour or gain an hour, it makes things more exciting for a little while. And you're
getting Al Pacino on me about the time change?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know more about the time change.
Where's the time change? Yeah. If anybody's listening who has problems with the time change...
You go from one time to the other. I don't know what that's all about.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's an exciting thing, especially as a kid.
I would rather...
You remember being a kid, John?
No, I don't.
Like, experiencing the time change? No. I used to try to stay up right before it changed, and I was like, maybe...
Well, I don't see where it helps a whole heck of a lot, just changing it 1 hour.
Yeah.
Hence why I came up with the 2 hour move and then just leave. Like, when I got here this morning, right? Yeah. So... actual time before we changed it would have been
7.
Roughly 7, and sky was already lit up and blah blah blah. It's like, well, if you push it back even further, say 2 hours, then the sun would have kind of just been starting to come up somewhat. And to me, and that I'm not big on this time of year anyway. Leave in the dark, get home in the dark.
Yeah.
Not too big on that sort of thing.
You need more light. You need more daylight.
I need the light. Yes. I am not a vampire.
Even
though I've been accused of sucking. Yeah. But anyway. And the one-liners just to keep coming on. 434-394-0924. And we now continue with Noah Massage.
I want to know this. I gotta ask you this too.
Go ahead.
Halloween just happened.
It did.
And you celebrated
with
your nephew, Scooter.
Right. Walker. Close.
Okay.
Very close. Well, first we carved pumpkins the night before. So
you trust me, you know your way around a knife. You can.
But here's the thing. Until ever since he was in the picture, I never was the one to carve the pumpkin. That was something Dad always did, and he was good at it. So I just let him do it. So I didn't really get my experience into doing that until way later in life when he asked me to carve a pumpkin for him, or he gave me a pumpkin to carve for my home. And that was the first time, and that's probably only been maybe 5 years ago, something like that, and maybe more. As time kind of flies by, maybe more 7.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so that was my first, and it turned out pretty good. I was surprised. I guess I had the memory of watching Dad do it. I didn't do it exactly like him, but it was kind of...
You kind of learn from watching him,
right?
And all those years of, your dad kind of taking it up. Do you feel like, do you feel the responsibility? Now you're the new pumpkin bearer? Like you bring out the pumpkins and then you carve the pumpkins?
Well, see, here's the thing with him.
Sure.
Everybody gets a pumpkin.
Okay.
So it's not like just the one
all
special
pumpkins,
pumpkin.
Yeah, everybody has a pumpkin for themselves that they can either...
pretty much.
Okay.
And so he has his own pumpkin that he carves, so...
Yeah.
No, I don't feel this huge responsibility, but I will say when you have been labeled to be an artist in some way,
you
feel like, I got to really knock this out of the park.
Exactly. I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I haven't been an artist for centuries.
Yes.
Since I was a wee little lad.
Wow.
Yeah. And by the way, it's 434-394-0924.
That is the number if you want to call in. Back to John Staten, everybody.
Back to John.
Back to John Staten.
Back to John.
Well, John, let me ask you. Carter had his own pumpkin. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know why. Walker.
Think Walker, Texas Ranger, and you'll never go wrong.
Okay.
Just keep Chuck Norris in mind.
So Walker had his own pumpkin.
Yes.
And he carved it.
He always has his own pumpkin, yeah.
Okay.
He might get a little help from his dad every once in a while.
Was it a good pumpkin? Yeah. Like, objectively speaking.
Yeah, but I will say this.
This is where I wanted, Sorry.
It's not. Okay. It's got nothing to do with how he carves or anything. But it's where he wants to carve. Mm-hmm. You know how most pumpkins usually have a side that's not as nice looking as the other?
Yeah.
Well, as a kid, I always wanted the pumpkin face to be where it was the good side. Mm-hmm. He goes immediately to the bad side.
Weird.
Or wants to.
So it's like a kind of messed up pumpkin. Like the pumpkin was like
I guess he thinks it looks more
of some sort. Spooky.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, I get that. That.
Kids these days.
I know. These kids are crazy with the pumpkin carving.
The crazy kids.
Oh, man. Did he go to like help online at all, like YouTube? Did he
to learn how to carve?
Yeah,
no,
or he was taught by.
Well, like I said, I think he, like I did, watches other people do it, see how it's done, and kids are brighter, I think, now than they were when I was coming up.
Kids weren't bright when you
you just sort of, just sat there and
stared at a pumpkin.
Yeah, you just stared at a pumpkin.
Used your
Yeah. You were hoping that you'd get back from the ball in time so the wagon wouldn't turn into a pumpkin. Uh-huh. At least that's what the girls used to do, from what I understand. Yeah. Any other Aesop fables or stories you want to talk about?
Sure. I mean, lay it on the line, John.
You remember the one about the dog that looked down from the bridge and saw his reflection in the water? And he got greedy and wanted the bone that dog had. And when he went to open his mouth to grab it, the bone he had fell out.
That is tragic.
It's deep. It was deep when it fell in the water, too. Yeah. Now.
Way to tie it back in. And you know what, John? We are almost at the bottom of the hour.
Almost. You're right.
This is shocking because, I mean, it's just shocking.
Shocking that we're almost at the bottom of the hour.
I don't even feel like it's been that long.
Yeah, it seems like forever for me.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
It's been an eternity. By the way, it's... We're 434-394-0924.
Of course.
Yeah. And I think everything is set right. I keep checking my phone to make sure.
That is 434-394-0924.
Looks like I have the chords right, and it looks like I have the blink link or whatever the heck it's called correct. So
wow. So I think we're good.
I think we are. So anyway, with that being said, I get to do the weather, and then you get to do the birthdays, and I believe we have multiple lists there for you to hey, we got a caller, so we'll put a pause on that real quick.
We'll put him on hold, but yeah.
Well, we might as well take the call because, I mean, we can always rely on birthday. It's you.
No.
It is you. Okay, well then forget it. I didn't want to talk to them anyway.
Okay.
It was Noah, by the way.
I was just making
testing call.
I was making sure.
That's all right.
Okay,
so with all that being said, this edition of The Weather is brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County.
Hello, I'm Stuart Wilborn, manager of the Bank of Charlotte County Loan Office in downtown Farmville. I invite you to call or come by and see me about your loan needs. Whether it's time to purchase investment property, build your dream house, expand your business, or purchase timberland or farmland, you will find old-school personal assistance with attention to detail. Stop by our office at 216 North Main Street or call us at 391-1136. The Bank of Charlotte County, giving you more for your banking needs. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
All right, weather for today, partly sunny, high near 63, mostly cloudy tonight with a low around 49. Partly sunny Tuesday, high near 73. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 58. Wednesday, partly sunny, a high near 77. Wednesday night, a 20% chance of showers with a low around 60. Humidity is 90%. Winds calm. Barometer 30.47. Overcast skies in Farmville right now. 42. The Bank of Charlotte County. Everything all right? With branch locations in Phoenix, Charlotte Courthouse, Brookneal, and their loan office in downtown Farmville. The birthday calendar is brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC.
Law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. With deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities, Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, business formations, and collections. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC for a consultation at 434-392-1422.
And with those birthdays, possible anniversaries, I present to you Noah Massage.
Wow. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Well, it is the birthday calendar time, and today is November 4th, last time I checked. So we're going to get into the birthdays now and possible anniversaries. Starting off on the birthdays, we have Dan Schott, and I guess that's his middle or nickname, Dan Schott Lazor.
Okay.
From Dillwyn. That's a local of yours, John. You might know him. Might be your next-door neighbor.
Won't you be my neighbor?
We also have, on the birthday calendar, we have Shannon Harrison is having a birthday. And Shannon, we hope you have a very special birthday. Also, Edna Barton and Tuti Burgess also celebrating. So, happy birthday, guys. And I think that's going to wrap it up for the birthdays.
You checked all the multiple list.
Yes, I did.
There's at least
there's
three?
Like 3 extra lists. Yep.
Okay.
For the 4th of November, that's all we got on here.
All right.
Again, John, they can get their birthdays to us by calling in at 434-394-0924. That's the number to call in if you want to call in with a birthday or just a question. And they can also email them. Or a statement. Or a bank statement. No. They can email them as well to birthdays.
Our operators are standing by.
Birthdays at WFLO.net. A great way to get those birthdays to us via email, electronic mail. John, back to you.
The birthday calendar brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC. For the right legal advice, visit Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, Main Street, Farmville. As Noah's blowing his nose. All right, so let's do some celebrity birthdays, shall we?
Sure.
One of your favorite, comedian Kathy Griffin, turned 64 today.
I actually really like Kathy Griffin.
You would.
And John, the fact that you
would.
Okay.
You know what her fun fact is?
What's that?
It's one of those wonderful things where it's your middle name.
Oh, what's her
I don't know what's so fun about that, but in her case, it's Mary.
Ah.
Anyway, I don't know who that is, so I'm going to skip over it. Actor Ralph Macchio turned 63. Do you know who Ralph Macchio is?
If I saw a picture, it would be better.
I will clue you in. He's the Karate Kid. Karate Kid.
Congratulations to him.
You know when that movie was made in the 80s?
Yeah.
That, like most typical movies, the people in those movies are older than what they're playing in the movies.
Sure.
Usually like teenagers and stuff. I want to say when that movie was made, he was already in his early to maybe mid-20s. He was the oldest actor on set, but yet he was playing someone in high school.
Interesting.
So they made 3 of those films. So by the time they got to the third one, he was probably already in his 30s.
Wow.
Still sort of trying to play the same younger person.
Person, up and coming, anyway. Karate.
So we'll take a pause on the celeb birthdays and see if we have an actual caller now. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, it's Potato Guy.
Hey, Potato.
I'm calling... Hey, I'm calling about the daylight savings time.
Sure. You got a grievance with it, or do you like it?
Well, I think about it. There are good things about it, and there are bad things about it.
Okay.
The good thing is you get an extra hour of sleep when we fall back. But the bad thing is it's dark at 5 o'clock.
That's true. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah. I don't like it dark when I get home. That means I have to go to bed much sooner. Or at least it seems that way.
Yeah.
The good thing is yesterday the Washington Commanders won again, and they're now 7-2.
They beat the Giants, right?
Yeah, and guess what? The Cowboys lost again.
See, I think this is all being planned by the Cowboys, and I'll tell you what my theory is. They stink, right? So the best way to get high draft picks is just to tank. Mm-hmm. That way you get the highest draft selections come the next draft.
Yeah.
I think. I may be way off. It could be just Jerry Jones is dumb, and I'm not saying that that's not a
possibility.
Yeah.
Well, he is.
But I will say, if they are doing it for the higher draft picks, then that's probably a wise choice.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's been the case with Washington for years.
Yeah, well, I remember they were drafting quarterbacks left and right there for a while.
Yep.
And none of them seemed to pan out. And even though they would draft them high, they were high selections. They weren't like bottom-tier quarterbacks. They were supposed to be, number one pick or top 10 or whatever. You guys had, Heath Schuler at one time. You had RG3.
The problem is that, and he turned out terrible.
He did. Yeah.
But at the time, everybody was like, oh, this kid's going to be the next thing. And he had some potential, but he ran more than he should have, and he got hurt, and he never really came back from that.
But the problem's going to be trading Prescott if they get a new quarterback.
Oh, we got the John Madden show, and we're just talking football. And then when Thanksgiving comes, we're going to take the turducken and stuff that in the duck and the turkey and the...
Is that your
Noah
joke?
Does not like my John Madden.
I don't care for it. It's not my favorite impression, John. Definitely not my favorite.
It's not even my impression. It's me doing this comedian that would do John Madden on Fox years ago.
Would he do it intentionally terrible?
I thought it was pretty darn good myself.
There, I just did a John Madden.
Well, caller, don't you think that sounds a little bit like John Madden?
It sounds a lot like him.
See?
The only part that sounds like him is when John was like, turducken.
And I remember back when Brett Favre used to play.
Yeah.
Brett Favre was like John Madden's favorite player.
Brett Favre this and Brett Favre that.
yes.
Everything was Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Brett Favre.
John's going to do that impression at your wedding.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess
time to say your vows.
Well, I love you and turducken and...
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I could see me winning someone over with that.
Yeah.
And they're also going to play, at that event, they're also going to play Baby Got Back by Simon and Garfunkel.
That's going to be a tragic day because I won't be there.
You know a scene in a movie that I always thought was cool?
That?
It was one of those Adam Sandler films where he's supposed...
The Wedding Singer. No.
It may have been. And at the very beginning... when he's supposed to have his wedding, not the one he's working, but his actual wedding. If you listen real close, the orchestra that's at the wedding, they're playing a Journey song. And I believe it was Don't Stop Believing. But it's just cool because there's no vocalization.
It's just the instruments.
It's just the orchestra. Wow. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. I really like that song, and the instrumentals are just like it's their own little song. Like the instrumentals, just like so good in that.
So, all right, we've talked about Commanders. We've talked about the time change. Anything else you would like to address?
About how John's going to be at my wedding and doing The Baby Got Back by Simon and Garfunkel, which is unfortunate to hear, but
I don't think Noah's going to allow me to be the DJ at his wedding.
Not a chance, John. Not a chance. And God's greener.
May play Serious by Alan Parsons Project as you're walking down the aisle.
I would want to walk down the aisle to that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hype.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah. Pump the crowd up anyway, for sure. As opposed to everybody nodding off. So, anything else you'd like to discuss?
John, do you like Christopher Cross?
Do I like Christopher Cross? He's okay. I mean, I don't sit around listening to him endlessly or anything like that, but I always liked Ride Like the Wind. That was probably his most up-tempo tune that he did. I always liked that song.
I like Sailing.
Sailing's okay if you want to hear something really laid back. I am in those moods occasionally, but not often. Not often enough to where I would listen to it all the time or a whole lot. So I guess you're a big Christopher Cross fan.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever see him live or anything?
No, but he came to the area a couple years ago.
Why didn't you go?
I had something else going on that night, I think.
Okay. Charlie's Angels was on or something? Or
yeah.
Starsky and Hutch.
Exactly.
The Starsky and Hutch is what I would have been watching. But, yeah. John, you want to go to the show?
Come on?
What's that?
Did that still come on?
Starsky and Hutch? No, I don't think that's been in reruns for some time. I remember back in the 90s, TNT used to run it in the afternoons, I believe. But I don't... And I think that was solely because of the movie that they ended up putting out. And I don't think after that movie came out, they reran it much after that.
There was a television network called, I think it might have been MeTV, M-E-TV.
They're still around.
They're still around?
Yeah.
Didn't they do reruns of Starsky and Hutch?
They may have. Now, see, I watched that on Saturday mornings. I watched the Wild Wild West about 10 o'clock on Saturdays. Even though they cut out portions of the show.
Oh, yeah.
But I still will watch it.
Yeah.
That's my show.
They can fit more commercials in.
What's that, sir?
So they can fit more commercials in.
Yeah, I think that was always the excuse, that to allow for more commercials.
Oh.
Well, if you watch some...
What's that Elvis thing you were singing this morning? I'm going to get the girl, I'm going to win the race. What's that?
That's from an Eddie Murphy skit. I want to say it was the one... It was called Delirious, where he's wearing that kind of red leather jacket and the red leather pants. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about how he was a fan of Elvis growing up. And he was sitting there, hey, Elvis was cool. And all this, and he would talk about how Elvis was in the movies. He's always singing in the movies. And so, you know, whether he's on a racetrack or whatever it is he's doing it, but he's also singing a song. And so that was his joke. I'm going to win this girl. I'm going to win the race. I'm going to, you know, and I always thought that was funny that he did that.
I like the song. It's kind of catchy.
Well, you got to give credit to Eddie Murphy. He's the one who came up with it.
Yeah.
Do your Noah impersonation.
John, go for it, man. I want to hear it.
Go for it, man. I want to hear
it. Every time it cuts so deep, John. It cuts too deep.
You said go for it.
I know. I needed it. I needed to hear that. Yeah. It's just.
No, do your John impression.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm John.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm John Staden.
Yeah.
Do you like Van Halen?
If you don't, then get out of here.
Get out of here. I don't know. I'm going to work on a really good John impression one day. I just don't know how to mimic him. He's too everywhere with his vocal range and his voice.
You know, when Christmas comes around, I make up Elvis songs.
Oh.
That he didn't actually sing.
That's great to hear.
Like, oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. Doing silly stuff like that.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
A grandma got ran over by a reindeer. I don't remember the words.
Wow.
Just remember the chorus.
We're gonna go ahead and record a couple of fake Elvis songs.
Fake Elvis songs.
And John's gonna do the vocal, like the voice for that, and you guys got to figure out which one's a fake and which one's a real one during the Christmas season. It's gonna be
that sounds great.
There's gonna be at least 5 different fake ones. Is that right, John?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be listening one day, and then it's gonna be like, do a fake Elvis song, John, real fast. You're going to be listening. It's going to be a Blue Christmas, and then maybe it'll be on a Tuesday because, 2 for Tuesday. So, let's say Blue Christmas by Elvis plays, and then the next song is John. Cue.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There's just one thing I need. He does the Mariah Carey song.
Exactly, the Mariah Carey song. And you're like, is this a song that I didn't hear before by Elvis? Is this a thing? You know. Yeah. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be
lots of fun.
You call up.
Last year, John told me that there is a video on YouTube where they did a fake thing. It's Frank Sinatra doing Billie Jean by Michael Jackson.
That's true. Yeah, that was those AI things, I think, when it first started, that they were doing things like that. Yep.
Half of it sounds like Sinatra, and then part of it doesn't.
Yeah, and that's the problem with those things. Sometimes it does sound like the actual singers, and then at some points it doesn't at all. You're right.
Don't y'all use some different announcer voices that are AI?
I do, just to give the illusion that we have more than one person here. But that, and if I want to make liners and I don't have anyone here to voice it right away, and I want to make them and have them playing, I don't want to wait until I get somebody in. I have been known to do that. Yes.
Do they ever sound good?
I'm sorry?
Do they ever sound good?
I get them to sound as good as I can make them. I mean, I'm not really putting all that much, I don't want to say effort. We're not paying for it or whatever. I don't know if I should admit that. But, I'm just using a freebie service, basically.
Okay.
All right. Well, we want to wish you a good day. Thank you for calling in, and call back anytime you feel like, all right?
All right.
All right. You take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
That was a Mr. Potato.
Mr. Potato Head.
Great caller.
All right, so who else has birthdays today? Your boy, Matthew McConaughey, turns 55.
Yeah.
Fun fact, voiced a variant version of Deadpool in the recent Deadpool and Wolverine film. Now, I didn't read the fun fact on Ralph Macchio. Played a police officer on the HBO series The Deuce. Ooh. Never saw that.
Me neither.
Anybody else I saw pictured here that we haven't mentioned? No.
Let's see.
Then we got the lower tier that don't get pictures.
Yeah.
Actress Loretta Swit of MASH is 87. I got to meet Loretta Swit, whose character on MASH was called, do you remember?
I don't.
Hot Lips.
Uh-huh.
Hot Lips Houlihan is what they would call her. She didn't actually like that nickname, but she was real sweet, real nice.
I will say there was one person in the with a picture that we didn't mention real fast, but apparently he has some notoriety, and it is Jeff Probst.
That was the name I didn't recognize.
Turned 63, but it says, fun fact, he once appeared with former castaways on a primetime special of The Price is Right, where they played for charity. Yeah. So that's a good for him, Mm-hmm. Good for him. But we have a call.
We do. Let's see who this is. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, carbon-based units.
Aha.
I happened to watch a Star Trek movie over the weekend. And,
which one? Wrath of Khan?
No, it was a motion picture. I believe it was the first one.
Yeah, that is the first one.
Yeah, where they picked up the probe.
Did you like those Star Trek films?
Oh, my gosh. I watched them religiously. I'm a big Kirk fan, and then after that, when they started to split off, I wasn't as much of a Card fan as I was a Janeway. Janeway, she was a bad, I don't know if you can say that word on the radio.
Bad mamma jamma. That's what you can say that.
Yeah, there you go. Uh-huh. But yeah, so yeah, I bought the plates and all that. I was hooked on all the BS and oh my gosh, and the books about the how McCoy would use his little device to scan you and fix you, and holy cow. But anyway, I have a question for Noah, and this is something that drives me crazy.
All right.
Oh boy, he's got a complaint. I'm
ready. You don't like warp speed? Is that the problem?
Boy.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
I'm ready for it, sir.
Okay. How much longer? When you said you had a long weekend, how much longer was your weekend than mine? Were they 25 or 26-hour days?
Noah had an interesting weekend, so he'd be the one to address this.
I'll say this. We probably had the same duration of time for that weekend, but I will say my weekend felt like a never-ending, I don't know if you could say, HE double hockey sticks, all right?
Okay.
All right. It was just like it felt much longer.
Kids out there are listening that can spell what you just said.
The
kids should be at school now.
I guess if you spell it in cursive, nobody will know.
That's true. What's up with the kids not getting the cursive? Well, I'm one of them, actually.
I didn't like doing cursive in school either.
Oh man. But, yeah, it was just a very kooky weekend. I don't have a witty response to the question, so I'm just going to stop.
I think he's trying to insinuate that your long weekend was just as long as his weekend.
I know. I don't have a good response. I don't, you know. I'm okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to make it worse.
There you go. Jeez.
So,
go ahead.
Have you guys, do you follow, like, the tidbits of news at all?
Sometimes.
There was an incident where they had, there was an animal called Peanut the squirrel.
Okay.
I think it may have even hit the internet, yeah. Then the feds busted in and confiscated it and killed it, along with the,
was he rabid or
I guess
something?
the home raccoon. No, that was a crazy thing.
Oh.
And the owners were out there crying to the reporters, and I guess there was a report that maybe it had bit someone, but the homeowners swear that it never bit anybody because that and the raccoon were both, I guess, housebound. So they said the feds come in and just rustled them up and totally searched their house, so all the drawers.
I need to ask this. Why would it be so important for the feds to come out to take care of some squirrel?
I don't know. I think it's part of the push for a police state. So.
Okay.
But why do they do what they do? Yeah.
I would think the feds would. I would think the feds would have more important things to worry about than squirrels and whatnot. But.
Well, you would think, yes. And maybe even something as stupid as protecting the president. Yeah, there's better things to do. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And now for all you knowledge seekers, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
And then when he said that, that's when he got the shots rang out.
Yes, yeah.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Exactly. So.
Rocky, is it Rocky Squirrel?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
That's
Hokey Smoke Bullwinkle.
Yeah, Rocky.
Yeah.
Yes, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Hokey Smoke Bullwinkle.
Caller, do you think martial law will be enforced at some time soon?
I could picture it without a doubt. Yes.
Do you think
degree? What's that?
Do you think the end times are near? In your opinion, in your honest opinion.
The end times of what America was supposed to be?
Yes.
Or just in general?
In general, in America.
He means the whole entire world.
I mean the whole caboodle.
Yeah, I think chaos is getting worse. Yeah, I could picture post, they say we're entering the Third World War, but, and after that.
They also claim that if the seasons seem to kind of fall together where you don't see them changing as much, that's sort of a sign of the times as well.
Is it really true? Wow.
That's what it says.
Read it in Revelation.
Yeah. We're getting deep this morning.
What's that?
I said we're getting really deep this morning.
Oh, my gosh. I guess it depends what state you live in. It would depend on the seasons.
I guess so. But here, the seasons kind of, fall just didn't seem to exist at all, really. It just sort of, I don't know, it was a warm fall, don't you think?
A little bit.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know. We'll see how this winter goes. If winter,
if it's like 87 in December, I'm gonna start getting a little worried, John.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Putting up the tree in your shorts and whatnot. Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
and you're wearing your Bermuda shorts and whatnot. Yeah.
Yes. Are you guys were fans of a time change?
I'm not.
I am pro time change. I think everybody should.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they ought to pick something and stick with it and just leave it alone.
Yeah. Yes. Heavens, yes. I think there should just be one time all around the world at the same time, and it's a 24-hour based on 24 hours. I don't know how
important it is if we have other states in the Union that don't even recognize it. I don't think it's that many, but the fact that there are states that don't makes it kind of like, then why are the rest of us doing it?
I wonder what it costs to change the time twice a year. Is it nothing because
time is precious?
So it's gonna cost you time.
It sticks too much time on my hands. We can keep going with this.
Keep going.
Yeah. What was the Culture Club song? something to do with time. I'd have to look that one up.
Yes, and then there's Time After Time.
Yeah.
Time After Time.
If I,
Time Has Come Today by the Chambers Brothers, one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
And then, Sugar. Oh, what was the Pink Floyd song? Was that Time?
I remember the song that's called Money, but I don't remember.
Do I look like a Floydian?
You're a bigger Floyd fan than I am. That's why I'm looking at you.
Go ahead.
I really don't know.
The Culture Club song I was thinking of is called Time Clock of the Heart. That's the song I was thinking of for them.
Huh. Here's a question I wanted to ask you guys last week.
Okay.
You watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
No, if it's got George Clooney in it, I usually avoid it.
Then maybe you can answer, since you guys are in this industry, they stopped at a radio station, and they had the ability to record an album at the station, or a record.
Right.
Did that exist? Or do they have to go to like this specialty place?
Well, it probably
you could just record it.
It probably existed maybe back in those days. Unless you're set up for that, I don't think that you'd have to go to a specialty type studio or something to do that. But but there is because you're talking about, if we're talking about like way back, that's probably what they had to record a lot of stuff on, was records, acetates or whatever you want to call them. And they probably had to do that with commercials and other things as well. So I guess there was a possibility of that sort of thing back then. But as time went on, if you came in to record things, they usually were using tape at some point. They got away from the whole records and whatnot.
The vinyl one.
Because it looked like it was a time when they were driving the models, the Model A, etc.
That's what I'm saying. Way back then, that might have been a possibility. Okay. Yeah. What is that set in the 30s or something? I've never watched the movie.
I would guess probably something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And that would make sense. That maybe that was a thing that you could do back in the day. Have you ever seen the film, Noah?
I saw parts of it. It's something that I need to watch completely from.
I know a lot of people love it.
Yeah, it's the Coen brothers, I believe. That directed it.
I think you're right.
Very good. Very good. Well,
we got about a minute. Is there anything else you want to bring up?
Yeah.
I want to say one thing.
All right.
All right, get out and vote, guys. Everybody up there.
Oh, boy.
There you go.
Noah's the big voting person here. All right. Thank you. Sound advice.
There you go.
All right.
Yes, don't complain.
Have a good one.
Take care. Thank you for your time.
Oh, no problem. All right, have a good one. Bye. All right.
Is it wrong that I don't want to vote because I want to hold the right to complain about either candidates? Like, if I hypothetically, if I voted for Kamala and then I didn't like what Kamala was doing.
You may have already voted Kamala and don't even know.
No, but what I'm saying is I don't vote because I like to hold the right to complain about these people.
Some people do that.
I'm like on the fence, I don't know. I might just go to the poll and just circle a random candidate's name. I might, I think whoever gets elected, John, ultimately the country is still going to run.
I think it's time to go. And we wish you
so long, John.
Bid you adieu.